All right. All right. I'm so excited tonight. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We have an incredible show for you at 9 at Night, which is every night, Monday through Friday, with a different topic every night. Tonight, it's all about the talent, and we're talking a variety of talent from people that can help those get into the movies and on the runways, as well as behind the scenes, the movie producers, directors, filmographers, as well as the musicians, the managers, you name it, anything with talent in the music, in the movies, in even sports. We're going to have it loaded with all kinds of wonderful people. And so that's what we have tonight. We have an excellent lineup for everybody tonight. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them in just a minute. I just want to say that I'm Christine Campbell, the host of 9 at Night. My purpose in doing this show is that we need some great positive stuff around the world. And through Zoom, we can reach that. And we're talking Monday nights, it's all about the business, okay? So it's great people making a difference. Tuesday, it's all about the drive. We're talking motorsports, racing, and everything behind the scenes. Tonight, it's all about the talent. We have Thursday night, it's all about the money, what's happening with your dollar bill. And then Friday, it's all about the fun, and we do have fun. We explore the world through those that have been there. And so tonight, it's all about the talent. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guests. All right. Now this is exciting because I'll tell you, I never really knew the story behind how people can get on the movies or anything. So I'm going to introduce Carla Johnson. She is she's the owner of Creative Talent, World Talent, and I'm so excited to have you, Carla. Welcome.
Hello, am I on? Okay,
sure
I had to unmute myself. Okay,
that all helps.
thank you, Christine. Appreciate that.
You bet. Now, and there's so much more. Now, you've purchased a talent agency that's been running the longest in the state of Montana. Let's do a real quick recap on your agency.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. It was first began in 1979, and it was owned by a lady, and then she sold it to another lady that had it for quite a few years. And then in 2002, I bought it, and then I've been running with it ever since. So yeah, it's been fun. And like I said, I've got to meet a lot of interesting and great people out there in the entertainment world. So I got to meet a lot of great newbies, like some of the people who've worked for me, like Connor, that's going to be on the show, who is my little model and talent. He did a bunch of commercials and things in the video. And then he decided later on he wanted to, I think, try that end of it. He wanted to be the videographer. So that's why we have him on tonight. And I'm grateful that he was wanting to be able to come on, because he's trying to get his start in that part of the industry. So I would just like to help him out in any way we can.
You know, that's excellent, because your loyalty to your clients, if anyone comes to you and says, I want to do this, or I want to do this, how does this start exactly? Whether they're new?
I try to find out like what their, their real talent is, and try to connect with the people or things, that get them with, to where they want to be. So, yeah, and it just involves all kinds of talent. And I actually, during COVID, branched out to helping a lady make her own. I was a co-producer for her show here in Montana, it's already been on the national network, and we're currently trying to get it on RFD. So we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed that that'll happen. So
That is
yeah.
excellent. So what's the name of that show?
It's Jill's Inspiration Kitchen, and it's a lady in the next town over from me. I have quite a bit of talent come out of Columbus. That's where Connor's out of. That's where Jill's at. And I had another gentleman, Tim Loafing, that was with me years ago when he was a young man, and he's was in some feature films and has his own podcast now. And but he's trying to come back to Montana, and we would sure love it if he comes back here permanent to help make some great things happen here in the great state of Montana. So,
We're going to have him on in just a bit. I sure appreciate it. You know, what's also impressive when you told the story last week is basically you are the best mom ever, because when this came up, your daughter wanted to be in modeling, and that's when this came up for sale. And you said, oh, I'll just buy the modeling agency.
Right.
I mean,
yep,
did she,
that's what I did.
how far did she go? Did she get started right away and do some fun things?
Yeah, she did a few commercials and that, and she actually had a, you know, guy down in Atlanta, I believe it was, wanted to sign her to a record company, but like I said, she got married, and that was it. So yeah.
So when that happens, and we're going to talk about when bringing Connor on, but when that happens, like with your daughter, how did that person in Atlanta hear about her? Where was it at?
Actually, I had a gentleman that I went to high school with in Arizona, and he knew of, you know, through Facebook, and he does karaoke, and he had a band for a while.
Mhm.
And he was actually married at one time to my best friend, well, one of my best friends in high school. I had several of them because I love people. So anyway, so we had chatted through Facebook, and he says, oh, I think I know some people in Atlanta that, you know, and my daughter had some demos, so we sent them on there, and they wanted to sign her. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So
you know, it's amazing how relationships, and you're so easy to like, you know, just you're just that kind of person. Yeah, I can see why you have a lot of best friends. What I love is finding out the whole world is built on relationships. And if you want to go any place. So the one thing is, and this is one thing, when I lived in Nashville and went to many of the country radio seminars there, that those new artists up and coming that signed with major labels, if they, we talked briefly about it last week, but there was a person that was an artist, and he kind of thought he was really important. And kind of trotted that, walked that walk. Yes. Look at me, I just got signed, and I'm everything. Well, I mean, he ended up staying in it, but he ended up having, you know, some hurdles because they didn't like the attitude. When you talk about program directors across the nation have that, it makes a big deal. So anything you do, it doesn't matter how much you are talented, or if you think you're bigger than life, you better think twice.
You've got to be humble. Yes, you do.
Definitely.
This is a you know, the industry is it's about humility. It really is, because I've had a few situations with people that weren't at the modeling conventions I went to, that they were, you know, really puffed up there, and then unfortunately some of them, they don't like that, and so they actually just kind of like, no, they didn't like that person's attitude, so they didn't even give them one call back. So yeah, you've got to be humble. You've got to be on your best behavior at all times, because eyes are constantly watching you. So you just have to be professional. And
you know, Carla, I think that's why you do so well. I mean, seriously, you've done so well for many ones. So I'm excited. Let's talk about your company real quick, and the best way for them anybody listening can get a hold of you.
Yep, they can just go on to creativeworldinc.com, and my phone number, my email's all there to contact me. And so they can reach out, and and I can speak with them over the phone or meet them in person, or however they want to meet, and see what their what their best interest is, and try to connect the dots for them. So
I appreciate the big tip for this week from you and your wonderful modeling agency. I'm going to go ahead and bring Connor here and introduce him. I'm excited for this. So, and there's Karla Johnson, Creative World Inc., and her beautiful logo. So that's where you go if you want to get a hold of Karla. She's there for anybody, and we sure appreciate you, Karla, in that way. Okay, now moving on, we have this gentleman, and he is definitely, I just am impressed. He's done quite a bit. I'm going to read you a little bit. It was on his website. It's he was born in Las Vegas, raised in Montana, and moved to Provo, Utah. So there's some several states there you've been, and was a church volunteer in Peru for 2 years after high school, where he learned how to help people how to speak Spanish and how the struggle is real. And after a few years helping his dad run his food truck, and that's called the Big Fat Lunchbox in Columbus, Montana, as a cook, truck driver, cashier, barista, videographer, he decided to make videos and films. And that's what he really loves doing in life. So for at least now, Utah is the place where he decided to want to do it. So he made the move, and he's making it work out. So he works at Ready Gunner in Orem selling guns, and drives for the Uber Eats, but he plans on being a full-time filmmaker as soon as he possibly can. And that takes a lot of guts, and I sure appreciate you, Connor. Welcome.
There I am.
I am so impressed with you. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, there's Karla. Karla is saying hello too. She's so proud of you. She's like a mom.
yep.
We can get all three of us on there. So, so what's really great, Connor, is with you and your ambitions and all that you've done to serve others, especially around the world, I know it's going to come back around. Now, what is your passion? There's videographer and filmology. That's a lot of different facets. So what do you really want to focus on?
Well, I mean, the problem there is I just love all of it. I've always loved, like, movies are my favorite thing in the world. I love just watching movies. So someday, maybe I think I'd like to, make a movie. I like the idea of directing and having a vision, being creative. But at the same time, at least for now, just running a camera is fascinating and like super fun for me. So just making videos for people is like, doesn't ever feel like work. It's just a whole lot of fun. I like working the camera.
That is excellent. We're going to go backwards a little bit. So you met Karla, and tell me a little bit about Karla and then what you were able to do with Karla.
Yeah, so I've actually known Karla a long time. Ever since I moved to Montana when I was 8 years old. I was in 3rd grade, I think. Yeah. And I actually went to church with Karla we didn't have one in Columbus, but there was one in her town, Absaroka. So that's where we would drive every week. And when I was like 10, she talked to me at church one time, and she's like, "Hey, I have Altana Credit Union is making a commercial, and they need a kid your age and that looks like you. And so if you want to be in that, you can make a little bit of money off of it." So I did that, and it was a whole bunch of fun. She got me into some stuff later as well. My favorite thing, she contacted me when I was 17 and said that Polaris, the ATV company, was shooting a commercial and they needed somebody my age. And I ended up scoring that, made a bunch of money for just a few days of work. And it was just like so much fun. So, I mean, I don't know, she just kind of got me into stuff like that. And that was like the most fun I ever had. So
Congratulations. That's awesome, especially a little bit of time and a lot of money, like you said. So what, now with your work with filming, are you just doing local things? Are you putting your word out there to start doing small commercials or something?
Yeah, so you're actually kind of catching me right at the beginning here because for the past 2 years, I was the videographer for my dad's food truck, you know. So every week I was just pumping out videos to advertise, and that's how we gained, you know, most of our followers and our customer base. Was we were like the only restaurant out there putting out videos every week, entertaining ones at that. And then I decided I just wanted to kind of do my own thing and I wanted to do more creative stuff. So I just moved down here recently and I have some stuff scheduled. I'm doing music videos and I just did a commercial for a music store up in Logan. So it's kind of just getting started, but I've got all sorts of projects going on.
We have an excellent website. Can you give that website address out?
Yeah, the just ConnorSolomon.com. It's all O's, ConnorSolomon.com. And I just put that up like 2 weeks ago. So
You know, I just saw that and I really am impressed with that. So I'm going to write it down. So it's Solomon or Connor Solomon. That's O-R, right?
yeah, all O's.
Solomon.com. Okay. Now I have a story to share with you. Now my son, he went to Boise State in film. And he just hung out where all the filmmakers go in Boise area, and he was able to do some documentaries. He went up to Mount Fuji and they did the night trek. So he's carrying all this gear on his shoulders, you know, the camera and stuff while they're going up because there's nothing more except just him to do it. And he was able to get in a documentary in India. So around the Taj Mahal, and they had some monkeys attack him, you know, some fun stuff like that. So it's really cool. And he did one in Germany. It was a film that's actually out on Netflix. And so and what he does, he goes to all the film. I think there's one in Sundance. Have you been to those or any of them?
I have not. I have always wanted to go to the Sundance Film Festival and I was planning on it this year. But then what with, you know, COVID still being around, they were trying to make it like an online thing. So I wasn't actually able to go to it, but hopefully next year I can.
Well, and a good way to do that is volunteer for whatever you can. My son volunteered and did all of their, also for Sun Valley Film Fest. So he was their webmaster for years. And I mean, you name it, he did it for free just so he could get in there. So he's had a lot of fun with that. So you're doing the right thing. You're getting commercials done and building your repertoire. You know, Carla, I was wondering when you go down the way you look like could be a superhero type character or something because you look great. And I'm just thinking, gosh, he should have a chance to be seen in front of some agents for movies down there when you have that big one. Have you thought about that, Carla?
I would love to do that sort of thing. I haven't, you know, done anything acting wise or anything like that in a long time, but I cannot wait to like get back into it. And I think down here is kind of a great place to do that. You know, Montana is a little bit harder. I think there's not as many projects going on, but I hope to get into some stuff down here for sure.
Well, you can. They have so many studios down there, recording studios and the film studios, because Utah is where everybody likes to start out. You know, that's affordable pretty much. So that's it, just living your dreams. Now, are you married? What's your future focus besides film?
Well, I am not married. I plan on not being married for a while, I hope. I know most people here in Utah get married pretty young. A lot of my friends actually are married already, and it's crazy because, you know, I'll be 23 next month. And so actually my focus is just work for now. And then a day distant in the future, I'll think about that. But right now it's all just work for me. I just want to, you know, kind of hustle, get my name out there and start pumping out videos for people with as little distraction as I can have.
Well, that's doing the right thing. Absolutely. I see Carla looking at you. She is a second mom. I can tell. You definitely want to have
Yeah.
Carla helping you in any way.
Oh, I would have adopted Connor in a heartbeat. He actually looks similar to my youngest son. So of course I had that little, you
Mhm.
know, I was all in love with him. He was so cute. So,
Well, what
you
we're
know,
doing
when
here,
he was little.
yeah, I
He was so, he's one of those little kids you just want to, you know, take them home and be their
Yeah.
mom too.
yeah, I hear
So,
you.
yeah.
Well, what we're doing here is we're having you on at this stage, and then every stage you get to a different, and we want you back so you can report.
All right, yeah.
And you
sounds
never
good.
know, there may be people watching that may need some work.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Every little bit helps. So I'm so impressed. So I have your website up. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up for everybody. It looks very nice, Connor.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah, so we're going to take a little stroll here and you can talk us through it. How's that?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. So here you go. And isn't that good? And you just put this up. Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, I kind of used a sort of, website template, so I didn't, of course, have to do any of the hard work, but
Mhm.
just kind of threw it together. I put on there, not all of the videos I've made. I mean, I've made tons of videos, but those are my favorite music videos that I've made.
So which one do you want us to click on?
Oh, well, I guess you could, why not click on the first one, the top left there.
Okay.
This was the first one I made.
On the
I
ground.
actually made it like 2 years ago. It was one of the first videos I ever made. And so you can just get a little bit of a glimpse.
And your friend wrote this song, right, Connor?
Yeah, this was a high school friend of mine.
Check my pulse. 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 Double checking everything I ever wrote. Walking to a miss, better hit the road. It's like beast mode with the 24. Call your own shots like you J. Cole. Life ain't a beach down in Monaco. Need a consult when I wanna go. Get the permits for the episode. Trace my intent with a nicer isotope. No one knocking me down, I need a vacate. You be switching it up, bringing the feng shui.
This video was actually interesting because, well, like I said, this was my first video ever. So
It's great.
I'm actually, a bit better now, and I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit more. If anybody were to go back onto my website and watch the full video, it's interesting because it's actually not that bad. It was way different than I had initially planned. The whole COVID thing kind of screwed us up. I wanted to film at a certain business and, it just didn't work out. But all of those videos there actually were like zero budget. I didn't get paid for any of those ones. So it was just kind of like messing around. But
that's part of the learning curves, right?
like, just for messing around, it was pretty, I think I did a pretty solid job. So I was like, man, I want to do this because I'm not bad at it. And it's like so much fun.
You did an excellent job. This is excellent. I love when your creativity, and look, you're talking like an artist. I mean, there's artists that go into this recording studios to sing, and they could be well known because I lived in Nashville for years. I've heard this over and over again. They'll go in, they'll record, and they'll say, "Oh, it's not good enough," and then they'll redo it like 10 different times, spend a lot of money on redoing it, and then they'll end up taking the first cut again.
Yeah.
So I see you kind of doing that. So these are music videos, and then going down, is there any quick commercial you want us to see?
We could click on that one that says rail line. It's like super short, but it's just like a quick example, of kind of a quick advertisement that we did. Those videos when you're on Facebook and you're watching a video, there's always an ad in there.
Mhm.
This is for my dad's food truck. You know, if you make a video that's like 15 to 30 seconds long, it's popping up on people's Facebook feeds in the Billings area. So this is a quick ad I did. You could take a look at that.
Okay, awesome.
I know, nobody hates these interruptions more than I do. But let's just take a second and think about breakfast. Tuesdays at Rail Line Coffee. Every Tuesday, we're at Rail Line Coffee, corner of 29th Street and 1st Avenue South. Figure it into your morning. BFL breakfast burritos, 6:30 a.m. until 9 a.m. are sold out. Let's get back to your important scrolling.
That was really good, Connor. I'm impressed with you. That was really, really good.
Well, thanks.
And
in
their
fact,
burritos are delicious.
yeah, I'm
The burritos
hungry.
are delicious.
Yeah, I'm really hungry. I see that. So we have branding. So there's all kinds of things that you need depending on what you need. He's there for it. So,
Yeah.
you know, what's really cool about this, Connor, is that it just starts with passion. You know, passion. I mean, are you kidding? Free is my middle name. I love to help people. And people say, well, don't you think you should get something of it? Oh yeah, I will, you know, but let's have fun. So it's good. That's absolutely, I'm so proud of you too. You know, when I was posting this on Facebook to say, this is what we're doing tonight, I actually said, this is Connor, you've got to meet him. He's going to be the next Steven Spielberg.
I hope so.
So you got to live up to that. Okay. So I'm not a liar. All right.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm working on it.
Well, I sure appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for being on our show, Connor. Is there anything else you want to say to anyone that's thinking about this?
Thinking about doing the same thing I'm doing?
That's got an idea, but is too afraid to do it?
Honestly, I don't know. It just takes a long time to like get, you know, good. And I'm not even like close to as good as a lot of people are. It just takes time. So like I used to feel a little bit bad at first when I would make a video and it like didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to, but you just got to keep pumping them out. You know, done is better than perfect. And that's kind of the name of the game. You just keep studying, learn as much as you can, and it all comes in time, you know? So
Perfect.
don't worry too much.
Clap my hands. You're just awesome. Okay, you two. Thank you so much for joining us today on our first half of 9 at Night. And we're gonna pick it up and go on to the music side of things. And again, you just saw Connor and his wonderful talent agent who introduced him to this, and now he's running full board. So I believe he will be another Steven Spielberg if he's not caught. If he's not approached to be an author, okay, or an actor first, you know, that's pretty much what I'm right. But thank you so much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move forward. I'm really excited about our next guest. Our next guest is someone that's been in the business a very long time. Before we start, we're going to have a quick little video on a nonprofit that we absolutely love and support.
Having a child in the hospital is incredibly hard for parents and really difficult for the child too. But seeing a child smile because we were able to add a little bit of happiness and fun to their healthcare journey is an amazing feeling. In fact, it's our passion. Working in the US and overseas, I was sad to see that healthcare-related pain and suffering is universal. So in 2010, Standish Foundation for Children began work to transform the healthcare experience for children. Today, we work to create new ways to help children and their families make the best of a tough situation.
Our caring and dedicated team is volunteer-led and made up of patients and parents, as well as professionals who are clinicians, educators, and advocates. Our team members have devoted their lives to helping children and are experts in addressing the psychosocial needs of patients and their families. Together with healthcare providers and donors, we work to make the healing process more hopeful and happy.
Our team collaborates with children's hospitals, clinics, and nonprofit organizations in the U.S. and around the world. We also support hospitalized children of U.S. military personnel. We guide in the education of staff and parents, teach child advocacy, offer psychosocial support, and give financial assistance to make the child's healthcare experience as positive as possible.
As healthcare technology continues to evolve, it's important to remember to embrace our common humanity. Fear is present for well checks, emergency room visits, as well as complex care involving surgery, chemotherapy, or organ transplantation. These procedures are scary, and we believe that no child should have to be afraid to go to the hospital or to the doctor's office. We know the research and strategies to minimize pain and suffering, and we know healthcare and healing can be positive. In fact, when children experience healthcare in a positive way, it contributes to their physical and emotional well-being, helping them reach their full potential.
We are honored to have donated over $200,000 and hundreds of volunteer hours to support 40 hospitals and clinics in the U.S. and overseas. Annually, our programs impact over 500,000 children. We need your help.
We need your help.
Now we need your help.
We need your help.
We need your help.
To further transform children's healthcare experiences and to ensure each child and family has access to a positive, hopeful, healing experience.
Excellent. In fact, it's interesting enough, what happened while I was running this commercial is Andy is the person who is in charge, who you just saw on here. And it is something to where she just absolutely reached out to me, texted me, and I said, I'm playing your commercial right now. So it's pretty exciting. So now I cannot wait to introduce this gentleman. I'll tell you, he is a dynamo in the music industry. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Rick Turlson, he plays 12 different instruments. He owns a recording studio. It's called Star Studio. And he's a professional musician. He writes contemporary rock, country, and gospel for original artists to record. And here's something that he does is that he did for years. I don't know if you've heard of Tommy Overstreet. He's in the country music world, but he was a legend. And Tommy's passed away, but Rick and Tommy used to write a lot of songs together. In fact, Rick lives in my hometown. I think I was in another state doing radio, gosh, years ago, in the 80s or in the 2000s and stuff. And I would have Rick on there, and I didn't know he was in my hometown of Idaho Falls, Idaho, and I live near there. So Rick is here. He has an incredible studio, but we're going to share some stories. But right now, I want to go ahead and introduce Rick. Rick, are you on?
Yeah, how are you doing, Christine?
I'm doing all right. Now, because that we have, you're not on video tonight, we're just going to go ahead and keep these posters up. But I have some pictures of you. So I'm going to let you try to explain some of these, okay? So we get to know you a little bit more. So, so can you see this slide?
Yeah, that's an album I did about 20 years ago. And that picture on there is my father when he was about 17 years old. And I dedicated that album to him. His name was Alvin. And my full name is Richard Alvin Trulson. Mm-hmm. And so I dedicated this album to my dad. He passed away in 93. I never heard the album.
Oh, that is excellent. Well, you've done so much when it comes, and you've been in several bands. So there was one picture I didn't get on, but you started playing accordion as a young child. So let's talk about all these musical instruments that you play.
Yeah, Christine, I was 3 years old when I started playing accordion. In fact, I had 6 sisters. My oldest sister's name was Judy, and we were 6 years apart. She was 6 years older than I was. And she took me to school from Shondell to play for her class. Mm-hmm. And I played, you know, I couldn't remember not playing at that age. You know, I always played music. I'd hear something on the radio and try and mimic it. But anyway, I played for her class. And every teacher in the school from first grade to high school even got me and made me play for their class.
Oh, cool.
So
That is absolutely cool.
So anyway, that's my start in show business.
Well, I'm so impressed with you. That is. Now, you've been in, how did you meet Tommy Overstreet and become his band member?
Well, I wrote songs, and there's a fellow from Idaho Falls, he's passed away in 2005 by the name of Dale Best.
Mhm.
And Dale, he never played music, but he was an awesome lyricist. And he sent one of his songs to Tommy. Tommy ran Dot Records in Nashville. I know you're familiar with Dot Records, years ago.
Mhm. Yeah.
And Tommy liked Dale's writing, so he called him up on the phone, and they wrote a few songs together. And eventually, Dale moved to Nashville and ran the office for Tommy in Dot Records.
Mhm.
And Dale and I became friends in the 80s. And Dale told Tommy about me, and we met, and it was like we'd known each other all our lives. He heard some of the stuff I did, and he liked the fact that I played all these instruments, and he asked me to be his band leader. And so from there it went. And Tommy, Dale, and I wrote over 150 songs together.
That is excellent. In fact, what was really nice, I lived in Nashville. My children's father was a promoter for songs on the radio. So they call him promotion men. And he promoted in there for years and years. So Tommy knew him.
Yes.
And yeah, and that's how it started. And I don't even know how I met you, but I used to have you on my radio show, gosh, 15 years ago. You know,
I was playing with I don't know if we met before, but I was over Boise or Nampa or someplace, and you came to one of the concerts, and it was I'll tell you here, Jack Green.
Oh, was that where I had Jack Green over for for Thanksgiving when I lived in Nashville, and his wife June. So is
awesome people. I'll tell you something else. I don't know if you remember, but Jack had Candy Carpenter traveling with him, and Candy, if you ever listen to Candy, she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, can I tell you a short story about that concert?
Sure can. You sure can.
Patty, you know, Candy was always a Dolly Parton fan, so she would sing some of Dolly's songs on stage. And Candy is an awesome singer. I'm sure people heard her singing I think one of Dolly's specials a couple of years back. Anyway, she was singing "I Will Always Love You," the Whitney Houston hit that Dolly wrote. And I was the band leader. And so we're on stage. And she turned around, trying to keep it from the crowd. She looked at me and said, "I will always love you," meaning that's the next song, you know. And the crowd in the front, closest to the stage, heard me say, she said, "I will always love you." I said, "Me too."
That's a good one. That's a good return on that. Yeah.
She laughed, but not only that, but the mics picked it up, and at least the first few rows heard it. So.
Yeah, I remember that now. When Jack Green was over in Boise, I went over to see him, and that's how I met you. And then I had you on my show. And then I remarried in 11/11/11. So I'm back in Southeast Idaho because I'm helping my mother, and that's where I met my husband. And and one of the first calls I think was, you know, you, because I never met you before, or except until in Boise, but it was basically to say, "Hi, we're here." And you had Tommy over a couple of times, and I was able to take my husband over to meet Tommy because he really liked Tommy too. So.
You're such a positive thinking person. You know, I love positive thinking. I don't think you can say no and yes at the same time. It's impossible. So you might as well say yes.
You're absolutely You did, and it's absolutely amazing what you do with the music. Okay, what I have, let's go over, and we're going to come back to your website because I have that up too. But let's talk a little bit about Tommy's history. What I have is his top 7 hits that we have on here. And I didn't know which one was your favorite one. Anybody that's listening, if you were a Tommy fan, if you can just mention if any of these songs were your favorite songs, just type it in. Karla Johnson, who was just with us, said that she really remembers. She was a Tommy Overstreet fan, so that's excellent. But we have now on these songs. You played them all on stage with him, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
What was the #1 requested one usually?
Well, people love Grandma Close, and Heaven Is My Woman's Love really was a big song for Tommy. And all these songs you have listed here are really, really great. But he wrote a song, I hope people look it up. And he didn't promote drinking or anything, but the title of his song is called When I Drink Texas Dry. Tommy believed in writing love songs, and that song is another love song, but just an awesome recording.
That is actually,
songs.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to one of his songs that's not on this top hit list, but we're going to listen to this one. It's called There'll Never Be Another First Time. We're just gonna play about a minute of it because I gotta watch the royalties in there. So here we go.
You know, we've seen a lot of crazy things as we've sang our songs along the road, including a streaker who stopped our show one night. And you know, one time over near LA, we watched some men put up a 3-bedroom home in the time it took for our bus to pass by. But you know, it seems like no matter how mixed up and complicated this old world gets sometimes, sooner or later we always return to the basic things in life, like love and poetry, and all the good things, honest and true. And darling, let me tell you about at least 2 such things that this man believes in. One happens to be a country song, the other one is you. In this world of see-through blouses, water beds and prefab houses, I sometimes wonder what we're coming to. There's not much left that's down to earth but motherhood and childbirth, and baby, a country song and you. A country song is simple, and this I understand. It tries to tell it like it is, the woman and the man. And I don't chase no rainbows, the basic things will do. Baby, that's like poetry, a country song and you.
All right, and I hate to cut it short, but I'm not involved with the royalty factors here. So, so here's the back of the album, and There'll Never Be Another First Time. So that is excellent. So, you know, when I heard that Alvin or Rick, when I heard the beginning of it, that's what you did. You were that guitar player picking out the beginning. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
I mean, you know, we sure miss Tommy, but I gotta tell you, is when you talk about the royalties, he really liked you. You wouldn't be paying royalties if Tommy could help it. So you play my songs all you want, you're free.
Well, I can tell those wordings. I bet everybody is just thinking, oh, he's just so awesome. What do you have a particular show that stands out the most out of all the shows that you and Tommy did?
You know, I want to relate one right here. in Idaho Falls at the Civic Center, we did honoring Dale when Dale passed away. We did a show at the Civic Center, and it was filmed. And so the film's out there around the world of Idaho Falls, believe it or not, at the Civic Center. And we just had a great time. We played a lot of the songs we wrote together. And, you know, every country artist, and most of them, they like to record a little gospel and play some gospel music. They used to do that in their variety shows, at least one gospel song. And Tommy sang a song I wrote called John Stewart. And it's out there, you can find it. And Tommy was a showman on stage, so he'd tell stories. I'm getting a little emotional about Tommy. I do miss it, but I can see him out there just having fun. He describing Dale. So Dale wasn't very big guy, just a little big guy, or little guy, and he'd hold his finger up about 2 inches, you know. Anyway, that show seems to stick out in my mind because I think it involved Dale. And I would say that one sticks out the most.
I was hoping, I mean, I appreciate you being on tonight, and I knew it was still fresh about his passing. So thank you so much for getting through this. You guys have written a lot of songs together.
Yeah.
Now, this is a website. It's called Reverbenation. It's REVERBNation.com. And so you have a page on here, and it has some of your songs on here. And it talks about the artist, and then it also shows some great pictures, which is where I got the pictures for my slides.
Yeah.
And so with that, you have some great following here. So out of everything here, just to hear a little bit, and these are your own songs, is that correct?
Yes, I wrote them all.
So now this one,
there are 3 cover songs on there, but Knocking on Heaven's Door. There's 3 cover songs on there that you'll hear. Sweet Nothings is one, the old Brenda Lee song. And
can
anyway.
we go ahead and play that one?
Just play, you want to play an original?
Yeah.
How
about your 9/11 one?
You know, let me tell you about that. Yes, you can. That's not on this album we're talking about. The 9/11 one, that'd be a good one to write. Dale and I wrote that. I played the music, wrote the music, and Dale wrote the lyric. And that's a good song, just kind of commending our heroes, firemen, policemen. Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Is that the unsung hero?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna just play up to a minute because of the royalty factors, but here we go. And this is Rick Turlson, and it is your original, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Awesome,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
Raise that old hook and ladder, shine the brass and the chrome. Sit around at the station, keep your ear on the phone. Ring the bell for the children, nothing much going on. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song. I'm the man you brought safely through the smoke and the flames. I'm the child that you couldn't. I'm your joy and your pain. Now and then you're too many. Now and then you're all gone. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song. I'm sorry I've waited a little too long, but I just didn't need you till something went wrong. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song. Take this ballad I've written, hang it high on your wall. It's a card signed by millions. It's a gift from us all. Let me lift you above me where you really belong. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song. I'm sorry I've waited a little too long, but I just didn't need you till something went wrong. Unsung hero, let me sing you a song.
All right, I'm gonna have to shorten that because I have to go within a time limit. But that is really, really good. Those lyrics are incredible.
Well, Dan was a great lyricist, and yeah, that was kind of a novelty song. And hopefully there's a lot of firemen who somebody to put it up in their firehouse and let us thank them with it.
Now, this was taken just close before he passed away, wasn't it? With
That's
Tommy
right. That guitar he has, he gave to me.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that song, well, anyway, I won't go into that too much right now, but yeah, I've got 3 of Tommy's guitars, and I've got his old Mercedes, you know.
You guys,
he was a brother to me.
well, you spent a lot of years together, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely. So, you know, what's really great is I'm going to bring Karla back on because Karla's just got a lot of things to say. So Karla, if you want to unmute your video and your mic, that would be great. I think it'd just be really good to have you on here. And we're going to, there you go. Oops, do it again. There you go. Okay, girlfriend. So let's go ahead and let's talk about you really like Tommy Overstreet in that last song. So let's you gotta unmute yourself again. I did something.
Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened, but my ghost in there in my
yeah.
Yeah, I love country music. When I was younger, I really loved it. Well, I still love it, but I just, you know, the country music today is not like the country music from the 50s, 60s, 70s. It's different, and I love the older music, and probably because I'm older. But anyway, I just think it had much more class, much more like a twangy, I don't know, I just liked it more than now. I mean, I like some of the music now, but I like the older. And Tommy Overstreet was really, really good.
When I first went to Nashville, my connections got me backstage Grand Ole Opry in the, you know, where you can meet everybody in the green room. Before, that's how I met Jack and June Green.
Awesome.
Roy Acuff, everybody hung around in Roy Acuff's dressing room. And it was something, I don't think I've ever heard him play that violin or fiddle but he always held it when he was on stage. But I actually had his bootmaker make me a pair of red python boots. He was making Roy Acuff. I traded an antique one for it, but he made Roy Rogers boots, and he's from Texas. And he also was making one for Roy Acuff that was mink lined and had all of the beaded roses on it. It was like $7,000 pair of boots. But for him, not mine. Mine was just python.
Right.
They were red. Okay. So those are great memories to sit behind the band, to look out to the audience. It wasn't at the Ryman we did that. It was where it was at the Opry Inn Hotel Arena, the arena they used to have there. You've been out there, haven't you, Richard?
Yes. I was listening, and I'll say hi to, it's Carla. I'll say hi to Carla.
Hi, Richard.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, she's been listening to you. I just, forgive me.
You're,
But-
you're fine.
Carla
Enjoyed it.
spoke about the difference in the country music and the new country. I think there should be another genre for the new country, another name for it. It's good. I'm not putting it down, but there's musicians like, I don't know if you're familiar with trying to think of his name now, Dale Watson. And these guys, he's out of Fort Worth area. But people like Asleep at the Wheel, they're keeping country on purpose, and they're getting radio stations together that play that traditional country. And boy, I tell you, I listened to that kind of music on my stereo at home. I listen to Alexa, and she'll put on the style I like, and that's the kind of stuff I love. Nothing wrong with the new country, but I mean, I don't want to hear rap in country, and I'm not being narrow-minded. I just don't call it country anymore.
Well,
I think it's called country rock, or I don't know, but I think it should have its own genre, but I sure don't know what they would call it.
Yeah.
I guess.
You know, and it's going to evolve into, it's going to evolve into other things too. We just be glad there's still someone's playing something and involving, and there's classifications. But I'll tell you, you guys are awesome. We're at the end of our hour. I can't say enough. I think we had a really excellent show tonight with the reminiscing and great new talent to bring the new and the old history in. So I love it. So any last words, Rick? It's Richard Alvin in the songs, but I call him Rick. So
I'm glad you called me Rick. Yeah, I'll just say I really like your show, and I like that you're such a positive thinker. I like that. You do a lot of good for a lot of folks, and I enjoyed your other guests. So that's all I have to say.
Oh, thank you, Rick. How about you? Any last comments, Carla?
No, I enjoyed your show. I'm grateful to be able to meet Richard and see how he was, in the inspiration and life of Tommy Overstreet. So that was really great little bit of knowledge I had there, so that I didn't know. It's, people don't realize there's so much more to a person when they're, famous, when they're a headliner. They don't know there's all these other wonderful people that helped push them there or get them there. It's nice to meet some of the people that were, part of that, because that's all great history. And, we see them on people on stage, and we don't know, like, all the people that surrounded them to help them and to help them get them, like their band members and just all the people involved. It takes
There's
a lot of
intricate details
Yep.
behind the scenes. Well, thanks so much. It's been a wonderful night. We're going to go ahead and close out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. And so we have, it's all about everything going on at 9 at Night. Monday night, it's all about the business. Tuesday night, it's all about the drive. And Wednesday, it's all about the talent. Tomorrow night, it's all about the money, featuring our chartered financial analyst, Ray Patterson. And then we have It's All About the Fun. So make sure you come back. And with that, have an incredible evening and make a positive difference.
You too. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Christine.